Welcome, detectives. This is your host, Mackenzie Kelly, with investigators
Ariana Parsons,
Lachlan Chastain,
and Mr. Walker.
Today we're opening the case of SkinWalkers. SkinWalkers are a part of Navajo folklore and have the supernatural ability to turn into or possess any animal they desire. They have the ability to move inhumanly quickly. They are evil beings that symbolize death or bad omens. And in Navajo culture, it is said that someone can gain the power of skinwalkers by initiating into the witchery way, which is a tradition to become pure evil by selling their soul and essentially murdering friends, family, or participating in other gruesome acts. The Navajo people were a tribe like any other. They wanted to achieve immortality, so they used dark magic to achieve shapeshift. There are tons of personal experiences with these skinwalkers. Some people say they saw a big black dog with glowing eyes. Some people say they saw a humanoid devil deer standing on his back legs. Skinwalkers are also known to mimic people, typically to lure the prey they are stalking. However, they can only mimic words or phrases they have heard before. While many stories may be fake, there are plenty that make you really sit back and question what you know about reality. According to a website, some people share their stories. One person says they experienced a strange dog outside their house that was standing on its hind legs and barking unusually. It was barking as if it didn't know how to actually bark. They said the dog sounded like woof, woof.
So like a fake bark.
Yeah,
like they're saying wolf.
Yeah,
wolf.
they're saying like woof, not actual dog barks. Someone else says that when they were around 13 years old, they were on a family trip and experienced a large dog-like creature hunched over with eyes that were bright white despite the night. The next day, they found their grandma's dogs ripped up and dead, and later that night, they saw the creatures again, messed up face pressed to the glass and gaping eyes staring at the child and their cousins. What do y'all think so far?
I think this is completely fictitious, and I think that the very idea that it sounds like somebody trying to impersonate. I think the chances are, rather than being an entity, is going to be a lunatic person. I can see people destroying or harming dogs. I can hear them imagine people impersonate dogs and pressing their face up against the window. Any thoughts on the matter, Locke?
They said they had glowing eyes or no glowing eyes?
Glowing eyes, like it was nighttime and they're like glowing white eyes.
Humans don't have that. Unless there's like light shining on them from afar, you can occasionally get the glimpse. I'm familiar with the Navajo thing. I believe there was like an actual name for it. The Wendigo, right? The Wendigo,
yeah.
Yes. That's...
Yeah, I think it's something spread throughout the culture of the Native Americans, although the Navajo may have originally coined the phrase. Most Native American tribes, as far as I'm concerned, have something similar.
The Wendigo was something I was more familiar with, because when I was growing up and I would watch all the YouTube videos, they'd say Wendigo because Skinwalkers wasn't a term back then. And it's kind of become a more recent thing. I don't know if this is... this makes me to believe that Skinwalkers may be fake. I'm still deciding on maybe I'll have something more at the end, but what do you think?
I'm leaning more towards that they're fake. Just like the whole shape-shifting concept. I mean, I'm sure there's like something like...
Could it be like the bogeyman to scare kids, naughty kids? I think, what creature is there that sounds like a dog, like a human impersonating a dog?
A chupacabra.
Stands up. Stands up.
Yeah.
Did you say it was stands up on two legs?
Yeah.
You mentioned it stands on two legs. Dog-like appearance, standing on two legs. Could not be somebody in skins of the other dead creatures.
Actually, I think the Chupacabra is a lot closer to Skinwalkers as well.
Yeah,
It stands on two legs, torn up, dead bodies, whatever.
Or werewolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, wolves' eyes would glint and shine and flicker and...
But they have more yellow eyes, don't they? Like at night? Or is that cats?
Who's got a cat?
I think cats have like green eyes or something at night.
Owls have no eyes.
Does anyone have any experiences with skinwalkers you would like to discuss?
Mr. Walker,
Or something you think could be a skinwalker?
any scary stories that could possibly be?
No, nothing related to something like you
The
mentioned
man
there.
of stories does not have a story.
That's shocking.
So it would just shred up the dogs and that's all we've got? Moves rapidly from spot to spot?
Anything mimicking one of your British mates from
We
college?
wouldn't tolerate that sort of behaviour where I come from.
No Skinwalkers in Britain.
No. In your short visual life, you never seen anything on that ship?
I mean, I think this just shows how fake Skinwalkers are. If the man of many stories doesn't have a story, then it can't be real.
See, I've been out to Navajo country, which is now New Mexico, Arizona, and around there. They're the plains people of the desert tribe. But yeah, I've been amongst them and camped in campgrounds. Did get a very interesting riding a pickup truck by 2 Navajo Indians.
Me personally, when I was younger, I'd play in the woods a lot. This was about in the time of the big clown scare, you know, that huge...
2016.
Yeah, 2016. And I think Georgia was like one of the main areas too where this was happening. And we went in the woods all the time, and it was just me and the kids in the neighborhood. So, I mean, we were like prime sus, or like victims for this, but we never saw a clown. We just heard noises in the woods. And I think that's just the thing, is that forests make noise. That's just how it be. Forest makes a lot of noise because there's a lot of like birds and stuff. There could be branches in the distance. I think there's something about the science of forests. You know, like they have sound that can travel from a completely different forest away. I never saw a clown in those times. Maybe a clown saw me, but I'm not sure. And I do have some time, and I would play at night. We, my friends, we would go out there and we would try to hunt the rake because that was like a thing as well. Never saw anything. We did just hear a lot of noises, and I think that's the main thing, is maybe it's just their friends were playing a prank on them, and they're like, woof, woof. I mean, that's just, I think it's fake.
Sounds dubious, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm more fake now.
I mean, so a few years back, I was maybe like 12, 13. So I have four-wheelers, and I rode them a lot because like they're fun. I love four-wheelers. And we got, at my mom's house, we got like a bunch of woods behind our house. So I was riding through there, and it was like, the sun was setting. Not like quite dark yet, but it was like getting there. So I ride the four-wheeler in the woods, and so I was riding, and then like something just jumped down in front of me, but it was like kind of big, like a dog, like the other story says. But I'm also blind, and it was like kind of nighttime, so maybe it's nothing, but maybe it is a skinwalker. But I swerved, my four-wheeler went out of control, and I got scars on the back of my leg because it cut up my leg because I basically ran myself. But yeah, I saw that, and then I was driving home because it's a little scary, and I felt something. It seemed like something was like chasing me. I didn't turn back around because that was scary. I'm not going to risk my life to do that. But maybe it was a skinwalker. It was almost nighttime, and maybe they got bold.
Okay, so basically when I lived in Ohio, my grandma lived 45 minutes away, and like once a month we would drive up there and visit her, and she lives in front of this like huge field on top of a hill, and that hill, like on the trailer, it's surrounded by like a bunch of trees and stuff and like rocks, and it just goes like back forever, like kind of like mountain like. And basically this was like during the time whenever I was like in my peak of scared of horror movies, just like scared of everything. Okay, I believed Slenderman was real. Okay. So then so I would be laying in the girls' room, that was for me and my cousins, and I would like at night, specifically at night, like I would just like hear like the tree like tap on the window, like scarily, like kind of like from those books that you read, and like I would just hear it scratching. But then one night it was like it wasn't raining or the weather wasn't bad. It like was like pounding, like it like. But then like I kind of like psyched myself out because again Slenderman, like peak like scary things. So then like I kind of psyched myself out to like, oh, maybe this like could be like something like unimaginable, you know what I mean, like skinwalker type things. But then like it could be anything from like a bear, like, mountain lions, deers. We always saw those in the field, just like any sort of animal. But that's literally my story about what could possibly be a skinwalker.
Would be spooky.
Interesting.
I believe that one's heritage and one's the environment one grows up in has an awful bearing on what you might believe and create. Usually, many of the things we've covered over this series are to explain the unexplainable. But so the British don't have that sort of same storytelling as the Navajo or the Mohicans or any other native thing. A lot because it hasn't been a wilderness for 2,000 years in the UK, and there are no beasts there except ones of your own creation. But in America, you know, these, like you said, they grew up with bears. What were the other creatures you mentioned?
Some like fictional characters such as like Slenderman, Loch Ness
Slenderman,
Monster.
but I'm thinking about them.
Coyotes, deers.
Oh, coyotes.
Coyotes, wolves, bears, cougars. Traditionally, Americans have had to face that, and that's where I think those stories emanate from. But you also said this, I think you touched upon the fact it was religious, but people seeking to be doing a deal with the devil or something,
It's like,
evil forces.
It's like sacrificing your soul. and
Yeah,
murdering
sell his
people.
soul out. I wonder if that's more of a Western influence for combining the Western with Native American ideas. From what I remember, they don't believe in the devil, do they?
I don't think they had a devil.
Mm.
Maybe a version of him, but I don't think it was exactly like
Yeah.
Christian devil.
Even after all these stories, are skinwalkers even real? There are many things that could debunk skinwalkers. Deer have a disease called chronic wasting disease, or CWD, which essentially zombifies the brain. Oftentimes, they will stand on their hind legs and walk around disoriented. The disease makes the deer drool, lose weight, lose consciousness, and will lead to the deer hurting themselves without knowing so. The disease can make the deer look like a potential skinwalker. Mange is a disease that can affect the canine species. Mange is a skin disease caused by mites that burrow into the dog's skin. This can make dogs look scrappy and rather scary. The dog's skin will become crusty and covered in sores. Large cats, such as bobcats, can also be thought of as skinwalkers. They make high-pitched screaming noises that often sounds like a lady in distress. So, what do y'all think about skinwalkers? Are they real? Are they figments of our imagination and have a more logical explanation? Is the case of skinwalkers really closed?
I mean, I kind of agree with Mr. Walker here on this one. It does seem weird that British people don't have as many of these fictitious characters as we do. And I think it's because of the lack of wilderness that they really have. Just starting to come back in London, But I just think that this is all of a resort of, because forests, makes noises, things happen. No one really knows what we do.
I'm leaning more towards it's a figment of the imagination, and plus, just like, in my opinion, I think that like influential, I guess social media use.
Yeah, TikTok spread this to Skinwalker.
I think that social media has like a lot of influence, especially here. I mean, I know in a bunch of countries, but especially here in America. Like even looking back like a few years back, like Loch Ness Monster. Do you
That's
remember
true.
that?
Yes.
Loch
Mr.
Ness
Walker's like, I've
Monster.
seen him.
I've seen him. Her, actually.
Bigfoot, all the way to like to what?
The Mothman.
Oh,
I mean, there's so many of them.
Yeah, there's just like so many, but I'm starting to believe like all of those are just like figments of the imagination, just like beyond and like big and beyond
Big and beyond.
of
Just
like your worst nightmares. You know what I mean?
imagination. Mr. Walker.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think it's something of our own creation, explaining the unexplainable. It sounds very dubious to me. Of all those we've covered, it sounds the most dubious.
Yeah, I think that maybe it could not be like real, but I think it could be like just animals that are like hurt or like diseased or something, and people are just freaking out. So I don't think they're like real. We have another mystery for today. Where can we get unique state-of-the-art furniture? The case is already solved due to Silver Sky Woodworking. They sell a variety of things like custom furniture, cabinets, accent walls, and cutting boards. Head over to meridiannews.org and click the link for Silver Sky for additional information. And we're always looking for new sponsors, so let us know on meridiannews.org if you'd like to be a part of our work and reach our audience with us. Thank you for tuning in.
Without a doubt, this case has been closed.